I want to be the best. Today's fighters, they have been taught that that's not the way to do it nowadays. Nowadays, go for the bag.
Because the only fight for Tank outside of after Lamont Roach was Shakur Stevenson.
Facts.
Right? Now they've got another opponent that will do well at the gate because of the controversy.
Yep.
And it ain't Shakur Stevenson. I keep telling people Shakur Stevenson beats Tank.
An article when we look at all the great fighters that's been I wouldn't say disrespected, but they was going through that. Oh, he ain't fight this, he ain't do this. All of them go through that. That's part of the boxing game. Stay strong, youngin', you know.
Roy Jones Jr. just called out Gervonta Tank Davis, saying he should be fighting Shakur Stevenson, not Jake Paul. Jones blasted today's fighters for chasing paychecks instead of greatness. He said Tank's following Floyd Mayweather's example, picking safe fights that make money but don't build legacy. According to Roy, boxing has shifted from heart and honor to pure business.
Do it. You know what I'm saying? He made
Right.
more money than anybody. He was smarter than everybody. He didn't take too many stupid risks. That's what he did. And it worked for him. And people okay with that and accepting it. So why can't Tank do it? Tank can do the same thing the mentor did. That's what the mentor is for, to teach you how to do this thing the smart way and not get you hurt, not have to take no risks, not to take many chances. So if that's what you learn, if that's the easy way out, why not do that?
Fans agree the real fight everyone wants is Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. That's a true test of skill, not fame. Both are elite, undefeated, and known for their precision and IQ. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's still seen as a YouTuber trying to play boxer. Shakur versus Tank would define a generation, a clash built on pride, not profit. It's the fight purists have waited years for.
If we can get Shakur to have 2 belts, we have Tank to get a couple of the belts, and you have a undisputed fight for those two in Las Vegas, in America, between 2 American guys getting undisputed championship of the world, that would be a mega fight. And we're talking about 2 guys that you have the most dominant, persistent, powerful guy, pound for pound powerful guy, I should say, in Tank, who also is very good defensively. But then you're fighting the best defensive fighter in the entire world, in my opinion. That is a fight I would love to see happen. I would be a big fan of, but I think if we could let that kind of fester and develop for a little bit and we get that fight, summertime next year, fall of next year, where this is an undisputed fight, I think that's the fight we would love to see have happen. I would be all for that. And I think it's realistic. Like I said, I don't think Tank's losing to anybody except for possibly Shakur, and I don't think Shakur's losing to anybody except for possibly Tank.
Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's all-time greats, didn't mince words about Jake Paul, saying flat out he'll never be world champion. It's not hate, just honesty from a man who knows what greatness takes. Jones explained that real champions earn respect through experience and struggle, not celebrity status or hand-picked fights. He gave Jake credit for improving, but made it clear greatness means risking everything against the best.
Who will become a world champion?
No.
Why?
I think if they make him fight tough opponents, guys with experience, those guys will beat him. Now, if you catch somebody like myself at the end of their career or somebody like Tyson, he caught at the end of their career, the chances are much higher because now it becomes more of a 50-50. You got a guy who's better than him, but the age factor. You understand me? And that's the only way to balance it for him to make it a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
Somebody who's on his level at the same age, those guys have too much experience.
Yeah.
You understand me? So he's not going to beat those guys.
Yeah.
But you find a guy who is past his prime, who has a mentality further than his, but past the prime, it kind of evens the stakes.
Tim Bradley took a different angle, saying Shakur doesn't need Tank. If Shakur truly believes Tank hasn't proven himself, then chasing him makes no sense. Bradley claims Shakur just wants the spotlight Tank brings. He said too many fighters now chase fame, not legacy. Still, Bradley admitted that deep down, Shakur wants that fight because Tank represents power, danger, and status, the things every real fighter wants to conquer.
Elite fighters, so on and so forth. So, with that being said, why even want to entertain the fight with Tank Davis? I mean, how much credit are you going to really get, Shakur, besides the money, right? That's what Tank brings. He brings interest. He brings a lot of fans in the seats, you know. But as far as legacy goes, if people are holding Tank at a very low status, well, do you need him? Do you really need him? How you doing, man? Good morning. Do you really need him? Because I personally don't think that you need him, you know. Shakur, you should be here to create your own legacy. You know, you're about the competition. You are about that bread as well. And I think it's important for you to really look at the landscape, man, of boxing and see where your big money fights are, you know, besides Tank Davis. As you know, you hear through the grapevine, I think he even told you on X that, you know, he's contemplating retirement after this Jake Paul fight. You know, you're getting ready, hopefully, if Teofimo Lopez signs the contract, Shakur, to be fighting Teofimo Lopez, who has accomplished quite a bit in the sport, man, and has been in the ring with some legends, Josh Taylor, also Lomachenko. I think that type of fight makes sense. You know, going up to 140 pounds, getting another strap, you know, beating the quote unquote the Ring Magazine champion or the considered the best number one fighter at 140 pounds.
Carl Froch didn't hold back, calling Jake Paul a bully for picking on a smaller man like Tank. He said Jake's size advantage doesn't prove skill, just business smarts. Froch slammed the matchup as a money stunt, not a fair contest. To him, boxing should be about courage and equal ground, not chasing viral moments. His words echoed the frustration of fans tired of seeing boxing turn into showbiz.
I think it's ridiculous. Jake Paul's taking the piss, like he always does. Just from saying, I'm going to fight AJ tonight, he's fighting Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
Who's 100 pounds in weight lighter. 100 pounds. Weight divisions in boxing are split up, some of them, the lower weights, by 3 or 4 pounds. All I can say about Jake Paul fighting somebody half his size is he's a bully. Why are you fighting a guy half his size? It's wrong.
Yeah.
He's gone from Krusty the Clown now to Sideshow Bob. He's getting worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a guy that's just taking a piss out of the sport, and I don't think this is actually gained much interest. The press conference was dead.
Yeah,
I noticed there wasn't many press there. It's not had a big media coverage.
Yeah.
I think people are finally realising, actually, that this is a big charade. And yeah, I think I'm not impressed. Gervonta Davis, I think maybe he's had enough of the game. Okay. He got drawn in his last fight. He was lucky to get the draw as well. But yeah, the whole thing, again, it's a clown show. And Jake Paul's
Shakur Stevenson fired shots of his own, claiming Tank Davis will never step in the ring with him because he knows how tough that fight would be. Shakur said it with quiet confidence, not arrogance. His elite defense and ring IQ could frustrate even Tank's power. Fans saw it as a psychological play, daring Tank to prove his courage. But Tank's silence only fueled the fire.
One more question before I go. Why not fight Tank at 135?
Tank ain't gonna fight him, man. He not gonna fight him.
You gotta realize with Tank, he on that other side with
Take on the cupcakes. Now say it.
Man, I'm quite sure. Tank to fight you.
So you think he don't want to put that record up?
Look,
Hey, I know Tank.
It is, man.
I know Tank, Shady.
I know Tank too.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
Hey, I know Tank too, and I know for a fact at the end of the day, like, he is not jumping into no fight with me. Like, that's a whole different type of atmosphere. That's not like fighting up.
So basically, you telling me Tank scared?
I ain't gonna say the man scared. I'm just saying for a fact.
So what
I
you
know
saying?
he not jumping in the ring with me.
Promoter Eddie Hearn also weighed in, saying Tank never planned to fight Jake Paul for competition, just for cash. He believes Tank passed on tougher fights like Shakur or Lamont Roach for an easier payday. Hearn said if Tank really wanted greatness, he'd chase Shakur. In his view, Shakur's patience and precision would beat Tank if they ever met.
If you were Tank's promoter, what would the next step be for Tank?
I heard they were going to fight Jake Paul. When I see Jake Paul at the event and I see Jake Paul posting from the private jet with a picture of Gervonta.
Yeah, slapped it.
Yeah, but they had that for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Because you had to buy it, you had to get it made.
Yeah, but I can't believe that fight was going to happen. But anyway, crazy stuff's happening. Yeah, you got to rematch Lamont Roach. You got to. It'll probably get ordered. That's the reality by the New York State Athletic Commission. But listen, they may have got lucky because the only fight for Tank outside of after Lamont Roach was Shakur Stevenson.
Facts.
Right? Now they've got another opponent that will do well at the gate because of the controversy.
Yep.
And it ain't Shakur Stevenson. I keep telling people Shakur Stevenson beats Tank. You cannot say that Shakur Stevenson would not have beaten Tank last Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he would have.
When Shakur blasted Tank for taking the Jake Paul fight, the boxing world lit up. Shakur accused Tank of wasting his prime on soft fights. Some analysts agreed. Others said every fighter takes money fights sometimes. Still, fans felt Shakur's frustration, seeing one of boxing's most gifted fighters avoid challenges for clout instead of competition.
Shakur Stevenson keeps talking about Gervonta Davis. Now, he's being asked about Gervonta, so it's not as if he's just going out of his way to just start talking nonsense, and I don't believe he's talking nonsense anyway it goes, but he was asked in one of his recent interviews about Gervonta, and he said that he doesn't believe Gervonta Davis is a competitive fighter right now. That is because he is fighting Jake Paul in a exhibition fight that will be taking place. I do believe it's November 13th or somewhere around there is going to be the date. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson is talking out the side of his neck with that because just because Gervonta Davis takes one exhibition doesn't mean that he's not a competitive fighter. He just fought Lamont Roach earlier this year, proves that he is obviously a competitive fighter, and he's already stated that once he goes and picks up this money from Jake Paul, that he's going to come back and he's going to go back to boxing. So I reject the idea that Gervonta Davis is not a competitive fighter. He's not fully into the scene like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson are, where Mike Tyson has had, his second or third exhibition. This will be his third one coming up. He had one against Roy Jones. He had another one against Jake Paul, and now he's going to have one against Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has been doing these for years and years and years, ever since way back in 2016 or 2017, whatever the year was, when he beat Conor McGregor in what should have been an exhibition, but was counted as Floyd Mayweather's 50th professional win. Gervonta Davis has not done nearly enough to be considered a full-time exhibition fighter. So I think Shakur Stevenson is not just a little bit off on that, but a lot off on that. I just think that is an unfair representation of it.
Tank's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, fired back. He said people forget fighters are human. Boxing is dangerous, and Tank's earned the right to choose his path. Ford reminded fans that every legend faced criticism for ducking certain fights. But in the end, fighters have to think long term. He said fans always demand more, but only fighters know the real risks.
A rematch Lamont. What are your thoughts on that,
Tank, everybody he fight, he make famous. Roach was a nobody before he fought. Nobody. World champion. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. If any of them top guys that they talk about would have had an offer that been offered to Tank, they'd have jumped on it too. That's happening. You know what I'm saying? My suggestion is you put me in a light where everybody know me now. You know what I'm saying? Let me keep it moving. I come back to Tank later. You know what I'm saying? I understand that's the biggest payday of his life. You know what I'm saying? But it's more out there. You know now. You know what I'm saying? You look at Pitbull, he running with it. Brody still on top. Barrio still on top. You know what I'm saying? Martin about to fight soon, so it's about to see where he's at. I just look at it like, oh, forget about that. Tank, go in and do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, it's about taking care of you and your family. You know what I'm saying?
It was more of a business decision for this fight. Is there still hope that a rematch happens?
It's based on the individuals, you know what I'm saying? Because we have seen old fighters got back in the ring to finish the settlement. It's based on the fighters or what they want to do. And one thing people don't understand, money is being spent before the fight. You see what we walked into. It was a nice press conference from New York to here. A lot of money been involved doing what they're doing to get it off. You know what I'm saying? And actually, everybody didn't believe in the Tank and Roach fight, the first fight. But look at it now. It came into be a what? A bigger fight now. So we have to wait and see how this fight finish out.
Showbiz the adult gave his take, calling Jake Paul an opportunist who will strike if Tank slips up. He warned Tank not to underestimate Jake's power or confidence just because he's a celebrity. Showbiz said Jake's hungry for respect and will go for a knockout if he sees an opening. His message was clear: don't take this fight lightly or it could end in disaster.
On lollygag, this ain't gonna be nothing. And Calvin Ford is like, he ain't gonna play with you. Listen, Jake Paul is an opportunist. We know this is an exhibition, but Jake Paul is about his bottom line and MVP's bottom line. And if that means sacrifice Tank by knocking his ass over the top rope, Jake Paul is going to deliberately do it. He's going to go out there to knock him out. I promise you. That's why I'm telling Tank Davis, don't bull jive. See, there's a lot of people eating off of Tank Davis right now because, like Calvin Ford said, Tank, you're being too nice. Where's the beast at? Grow your mane back out. We got to see the beast.
Chael Sonnen broke down how massive the hype around Jake Paul versus Tank Davis has become. He said the buildup feels more like a Hollywood blockbuster than a boxing match. Jake's been taking personal shots, even bringing up Tank's legal issues, while Tank stays silent. Sonnen believes this rivalry has gone beyond business. It's personal now, with both men fighting for pride and attention.
Tank was not ready for this. I feel, should have known. I got an article written about me to personalize this, but I got insulted. I was insulted back in about 2012. I was known as the best guest. I was known as the best interview. I was known as the best guy for a press conference. And somebody comes out and they goes, hey, he's got these planned. He's got these lines planned ahead of time. This guy isn't so great. And I remember finding that very comical. I have never had a test in my life where the teacher told us the test was coming up, that I didn't prepare for it. I couldn't imagine walking into something. It could be the fight itself. I couldn't imagine not preparing for it. And Tank was simply caught off guard. This is what he does. He's a descendant of Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd did as good of a job as anybody at making sure those press conferences in that image and that character, and it was nothing more than that. It was a character, but he made sure that it was dynamic and compelling. And I just share for you, like, he wasn't ready. And it got dirty. It got very, very dirty. Tank apparently has something where he was accused and possibly even charged. If I use the wrong words, I don't know the story. I learned it yesterday when Jake brought it up.
And that's it for today's video. Whether you're Team Tank or Team Jake, this showdown has the boxing world buzzing. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more fight updates, and drop your predictions in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more Fight Talk.